I bet you've watched countless videos on how to score above 300 in your JAMB examination, and you agree with me that all the YouTubers you've watched, they say pretty much the same thing. They give you the same advice, but they don't show you exactly how to do it. My name is Benita, and in this video, I'm gonna be sharing tips on how to score above 327 in your JAMB examination. I'm going to be highlighting the major advice that they give you and show you exactly how to go about it. And at the end, I'll be giving my own extra tips that is sure to ace your JAMB examination this year. Now, the first advice that I'm sure you must have heard of is to use past questions. Past questions is the king, and when you use it right, your chances are very high. So JAMB has not changed the syllabus for like a very long time, and their chances of repeating questions is very high, and you have to make good use of it. So what I want you to do here is to just bring out a sheet of paper, pick out a year you want to answer, and number it. Probably 40 questions. I'm answering biology and I'm going to number it for 40 questions. And one thing you should not make the mistake of doing is having your textbook by your side. Don't be tempted to pick at the back or check the answer in the textbook, because you're only fooling yourself. You're not fooling JAMB, you're fooling yourself. This is for you. You have to study like never before. So what you have to do now is to just answer all the questions. Answer it without looking at the back, without looking at your textbook, and hope for the best. So once you're done answering, you mark, and this is where the work comes in. The questions you got and the questions you failed, find out why you got them and why you failed them. You can have your textbook by your side at this moment. Anyone you failed, you check why you failed it, and use past questions as an opportunity to read from your textbook, because whatever you failed, it means you don't know much about it. So you bring out your textbook, open to a topic that is similar to that question, and read through it. You should not get tired of reading, because reading should become your lifestyle during this period. And doing this, you're answering past questions the right way, and come on, you're getting better. This second advice is something that you've heard for like a gazillion times. Yeah, and that is to use the JAMB syllabus. Like, if you're not using the JAMB syllabus, you're on the wrong path, because the JAMB syllabus is just like a guide. It will lead you in the right path, because it will tell you what you need and help you displace the things you don't need. There are different ways to get the JAMB syllabus. If a simple Google search, you could just download a PDF of the JAMB syllabus. You don't have to go to any store and spend huge bucks of money on any syllabus. Or you could get this book. Is a checkpoint JAMB. The syllabus is inside for free. So the JAMB syllabus is going to tell you the topics that you need to focus on and the topics that you just need to displace. For example, in chemistry, a topic that JAMB cannot go a year without setting in chemistry is organic chemistry. There is no year you study in chemistry that you would see that question, and that is just an indication that you need to pay good attention to that topic. Another, and a topic that is really not important in chemistry in JAMB is this topic called ethical, legal, and social issues in chemistry. You don't need to waste your time on it. And when you're studying English, you don't have to go about studying essays and letters, because JAMB doesn't recommend those things. It's worthless studying them. So the syllabus is going to tell you what you need to study and what you don't need to study. The third advice, that is to take JAMB CBTs. You've heard it a million times, and it's very important, but a lot of persons do not utilize this, or a lot of persons do it in a way that they shouldn't do it. Let me just tell you, you don't have to go for any CBT practice or tutorials or whatever. All of it, you can access it on your digital device, probably a smartphone. There are tons of CBT apps over there in the Google Play Store and in the Apple App Store. All you just need is a download. Some apps require an activation fee, whereas some other apps do not. Apps like Tedriller and the likes, they require an activation fee. But there's a free app that you could download. It's called the JAMB Thirsty. It's completely free. You don't have to pay the activation fee. It has great features. It has an exam mode question. It has flashcards, and the best part, it even has the JAMB novel. Like, it's completely free. You can just read it without having to buy it. See, for anyone that is not willing to pay an activation fee, but if you're willing to pay an activation fee, then Tedriller is the deal. One great thing about test driller is that it has this feature where you can even win a prize money. Yeah, what do they call it? It's a championship something, I don't know, but testing is completely free. So what I want you to, one good thing about using CBT apps is that it helps you manage your time, because JAMB is computerized. It's not the written type. It's totally computerized. And using the JAMB CBT apps, it's gonna be great because you're going to be able to time yourself. All you have to do is to just go to the exam board of the Thirsty app, pick the subjects you apply for JAMB. Me, I apply for English, chemistry, biology, and physics, and then you set your time for 2 hours because that's the time JAMB will give you. And again, don't have your textbook by your side. Do it as if you are on that jam day. Stay in a quiet place, answer the question, and here comes the best part. You don't even have to get your textbook to check the answers you feel the god, because there is a detailed explanation on every answer. Once you've submitted, they'll give you explanations for every single question, and that is a great thing about the app. So now I'm going to be sharing my own tips that will definitely ace your exams if you do it exactly as I said in this video. The first thing is to start early, like start now. If you've not started reading, Kai, what are you waiting for? Start reading now, because JAMB is not your mate. JAMB is not your mate, and JAMB is not smiling with you. So you shouldn't be smiling with JAMB either. Pick up that book and start reading right away, because guy. And the next tip I would want to share with you or to give you is to use the on-screen calculator. What do I mean by using this on-screen calculator? The calculator that you'll be provided with in during JAMB is completely different from the one you might be using now as a science student or as an art student. You see this calculator, don't waste your time using it. You should use something like this here on the screen, because that's the calculator that JAMB is going to be providing you with. You see all these special functions and features and all of that, you won't see any of it here. You won't see it. So what I encourage you to do now is to start learning how to use this calculator. There are zillions of videos here on YouTube on how to use this calculator, on how to go about JAMB and its questions, its exponential functions, and all those smart things. There are different videos that will show you exactly how to do it. Start learning now, which is why you need to start early so that you could boost your chances of actually, you know, covering everything, because you have a lot to learn. You have a lot to prepare your mind on. So, and the third advice or the third tip that if you start doing it now, boost your chances, is to avoid distractions. You heard me right. This is something that you must have been hearing from birds, but you know the kind of distractions I mean? I mean your phone. Yes, your phone. When I was preparing for JAM, I didn't have a phone. Like, I got my phone when I was 16 because of my parents, and I'm actually grateful to them. Now that I have a phone, I'm battling with this distraction, like this social media addiction. And you that have had a phone for a very long time, you should learn to shut it out. Now, what I do now is, because whenever I have data, I'm always badly distracted. So sometimes I'll just, exhaust the data so that I can have some time to myself. And that's what you should do. You know, because this JAMB examination is something you just need to put in your all. You have to make yourself proud and your family proud. So it's gonna be difficult, but just put it out. Just put out your phone. I can't tell you to delete the apps, but probably just don't subscribe, don't put data on your phone for like a few days, so you could have that time to study. All those parties, hang out with friends, do only the relevant ones, don't do the irrelevant ones, so that your brain will constantly be fresh, and so that you will excel. The most important tip is to practice active recall. I don't know if you've heard of it, but what do I mean by active recall? In a simple layman language, whatever you're doing, whether you're washing your clothes, you're washing your plates, you're cooking, or whatever, try to think about that subject you read back then. Like, I read on electrolysis. Can I remember what electrolysis is again? Can I remember what electrodes are, the anode, the cathode? Let me just try to remember, refresh my brain. But you will not necessarily be with your book. Just try to, stress your brain to remember it. And once you do it for anything you read, any question you must have come across, you will definitely excel. Finally, don't forget to put God first, because without God, nothing can take place. Because if God decides to take your life now, you won't be able to write that examination. So make sure you pray, make sure you fast, make sure you do everything that God requires. You study the word and pray for the best results ever. Pray for that 300 plus. And we've come to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching to this point. If you did, then I'm definitely sure that once you practice everything I've said right here, your chances will be very, very high, because I too scored 327 in JAMB, and everything I'm sharing here are things that I did, so you too can also do the same. So my next video will be coming out soon. It's gonna be something on how I scored 327. So, you know, don't forget to do the needful, subscribe, like, and leave a comment on whatever question you may have, whatever thing you might want to add. Please, it will be very, very wonderful if you leave that in the comment section. And thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll catch you up in my next video. Bye bye.